We are joined by Nadasen, who's the co-founder for Women in Payments. Thank you so much for your time. We do appreciate it. It's lovely to see women in this space.
Yes, of course, we are significantly underrepresented, so it's great to be representing women.
Yes. Let's speak about the fact that things keep changing and evolving, and you're seeing all these new systems coming in. You see AI, you see digital currencies. Maybe speak to me about what are the major skills gaps in African payments today?
So, really good question. The tech talent pool in Africa is significantly underrepresented in terms of the rest of the world, demographically, right? So if we look at the world, 18% of the population size globally is Africa. But if we look at the tech talent pool, we contribute about less than 3% of that. From an AI perspective, we hold 1% of global computing power. So that is already putting us at a disadvantage. If we look at the payments workforce, we have a limited availability of skilled professionals that are able to build products that are user-centric, locally relevant in very complex regulatory and financial environments. If we then think about some of these newer technologies like AI, for instance, data analytics and cybersecurity, that gap becomes even more critical. And these are the kind of skills that we require to build the next generation of payment systems and evolve the landscape. If we think about how we address these gaps, I think there are many strategies to do that, but I'm just going to talk about 3 that are important, I would say, for me, right? So the first one would be human capital. Africa has a big problem with the brain drain. Specifically countries like South Africa, Ghana, Nigeria, because we have a much bigger pool of skilled technology professionals. And there is an estimate from the International Migration Organization that says that Africa has lost about 1/3 of its human capital. Now that is really, really significant. We also have a very young tech force, which means that we are losing our human capital's ability to train this new tech force that's coming in. So that is the one area that I would really focus on. The second one is we need to create more opportunities for people to engage in emerging technologies, like AI, for instance. We are the smallest contributor globally to AI contribution. So if we're not contributing, we're not going to get better at it. We're not going to be able to use it to improve our payment systems, and that's a big problem. The last area, something that I'm really passionate about, being a co-founder of Women in Payments, is education and training. We're not closing the gap when it comes to the number of women that are in payments. And even though we have more people entering the space, we're not training them fast enough. So at an education level, tertiary education level, and even at a school level, you won't really find any payment courses in there, right? So the Payments Association is doing a lot of work around courses, which, and my time at PayU, I encourage everybody to do. I don't believe that you can enter the payments industry without having that background. It is quite a steep learning curve, and there's a lot more that should be done to add payment courses. The fintech industry is the single largest industry for the tech force in South Africa. So 27.5% of all developers are actually hired by the fintech industry. But you're hiring people that don't have the background. So you now have to expend to be able, to train people, which is quite costly. So we need to start early on.
I want to ask you about how important collaboration is. I mean, with the fintechs, the banks, and the regulators, because those 3 have been highlighted at this conference, and how they can help in terms of the risks and the challenges that you've just mentioned.
So collaboration has been a theme here. I think it's going to be incredibly important right now, and in moving this industry forward. As I have highlighted, we are not really evolving fast enough in terms of, at education level, embedding things that are directing the industry. So we do need to come together to create more opportunities for people to learn earlier on in the system. How we do that, probably need to work a lot closer with government. I don't think there's enough that is happening there because there isn't any training programs that the government is actually putting forward from a payments perspective, right? The SARB has engaged the industry, which is great, and it is setting a very different tone of how the industry will move forward. And I think now probably another initiative that needs to run alongside this is training talent.
Maybe in closing, your comments about human capital. I know you spoke about it just now, but how that could possibly be a defining factor in whether or not Africa can leapfrog into the next generation of payments.
Yeah. So the engine room is people, and it takes a significant investment to train people to get to that point. I don't think we take this topic seriously enough. If you've trained somebody, if you've invested in them for like 30 some odd years and they finally decide to go and improve another economy, it should hurt like hell. So this is something that is really important. We need to be putting a lot more effort in retaining our human capital. And certainly, yes, that is what is going to help us to leapfrog and evolve the payment system.